Good afternoon, this is your friend Angel over at Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, Florida, and I'm bringing you today our first 2025 Corvette Z06. And what a way to start the year. I mean, this is a 3LC with the full aero carbon fiber package. It also has the natural lip seats with the competition seats, which is very rare to see. A lot of people don't order those seats. They name them uncomfortable, I should say, but I don't think they are. Especially on this one. I tried them on many times and they're very comfortable. I guess if you're a big guy or something, you might have a problem, but our customer TJ, he's in good shape, so he fits perfectly fine on this vehicle. And we ordered it a couple months ago and we went back and forth with the build and finally came out with this. This is a Torch Red 3LC with the full aero package. It's not a CTK package car, which he doesn't want necessarily. A lot of people look for the CTK package just for the looks. He's actually had the looks of the CTK package here without the compromise of the tough suspension, the bold tires that you get that last only 4,000 miles. He's planning on driving this car more, so he got the all-season tires, which is perfect for Florida. We also have the stripes, which is with the Jake logo. He actually had these ones on the front for another car that he was going to trade in, end up selling it. So we used the stripes that were going to go on the Stingray on the Z06 that fit perfectly fine. The ones on the rear, he ordered from the factory. However, we had to install them here at the dealership along with the splitter in carbon fiber, which you can see. And he also ordered this grill to protect the radiators. On the Z06, you had an extra one on the front because you had an extra radiator. And if you look at these air ducts on the front here, those are functional. Those are air tuners for the front brakes, for the front rotors, to cool down those rotors. And look how mean it looks with this. I mean, it looks scary and spooky, which is perfect for Halloween season, right? Today's Sunday, and if you don't know me yet, I'm a salesman here at Palm Chevrolet in Ocala. I leave my description below if you would like me to help you achieve your dream with this beautiful automobile or any automobile. We can order it from the factory, find you one at another dealership if we don't have it. But yeah, this is our first 2025 Z06. Hopefully that's not the last one too. So let's talk about Z06 for a second. Very unique car. If you don't know it yet, the Z06 lives on top of the Stingray cars, and it's usually our high performance car, the most powerful Corvette you can buy before you get to the ZR1. Now, one thing unique about Z06 is that the exhaust is right in the middle. And TJ ordered the black exhaust tips, which look amazing. In the Stingray, you will see the exhaust in each corner, but the Z06 had it in the middle like it was in the 7th generation, 6th generation, and etc. The width of the car is 4 inches wider than the Stingrays, on the back especially. We had the largest tires ever put on a Corvette, 21-inch wheels, and they're 345 in width. Never been done on a Corvette before. Then on the front, you got 20-inch wheels, which is never done before. Usually you get 20s and 19s on the front at the most. With the 7th generation, they come with the 18 and 19 on the back standard. You have to pay extra for the bigger wheels, such as the Grand Sport and Z06. Also, Z06 is a very historic car. It's the most powerful V8 in automotive history. It hasn't been done for 20 years. The last car to hold that record was the McLaren F1, which costs approximately about $20 million right now, if you find one. But then when they came out, it was $1 million. The Z06 has more power. I think it sounds better too. That's another thing about the Z06. The sound is amazing. And on top of that, it's just a fraction of the price of a supercar. With supercar looks and supercar performance, this thing can go 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. It can do the quarter mile in 10.5 seconds. Unbelievable. Right out of the box, you have a 10-second car, like the ones they were looking at in Fast and the Furious. And that's why TJ chose this absolutely amazing vehicle. It's a historic car. It sounds great. And part of the engineering here, it's never been done before by a Corvette team for Corvettes. Usually they have a normal engine with push rods. Not the case here. This is a flat plane crank and it can rev to 8,900 RPMs. Never been done before. To give you some perspective, the Stingray can only rev to 6,500 RPMs. Fun fact, the Stingray has more torque than the Z06. Hard to believe. And it has a larger engine, even though it doesn't look bigger. This is only a 5.5 liter engine with 470 pound-feet of torque What the Stingray, you got up to 470 pound-feet of torque, even though it's a 6.2 liter engine with only one crankshaft, single, the normal crankshaft, I should say. Single overhead cam, that's what I was trying to get. All this language is very confusing, particularly because English is not my first language, so bear with me here with the accent and whatnot. But congratulations to TJ, man. He's coming tomorrow, which is his birthday, to pick up this beauty and take it to Philly. He's going to Philadelphia. And after that, we're going to order an orange one, he said. A convertible this time. But he did want the Coupe for one reason, and I'll show you in just a second. First of all, let's take a look at this high wing spoiler. On the Stingray, you have 4 posts. These ones are 2 only, but they attach to the chassis of the car. And that's how they get away with that. And of course, I give you a bigger opening, much more downforce too, with the high wing spoiler. And look what it says, carbon aero. But the beauty of the Coupe car is not just the outside, it's right here. This is where the beauty lives. And to open it, we're gonna hit the button under the E. Kind of looks like, but there's a couple of E's, but this one is the one in the middle. Kind of simulates to 8. With the high wing spoiler, we had the issue of opening the trunk, so we had to go like backwards like this. And there it is. The one and only, the LT6 engine, my friend. And it's hand built. That is the engine builder's signature in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And we ordered this plaque that says what the car has: 5.5 liter displacement, 670 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque. Look at the compression ratio. Freaking believable. We also ordered the engine appearance package with this, and I'm glad he did, because it comes with this carbon fibers cover and matched throughout the whole car, the whole team here. Every Z06 we have a mag ride suspension. That's standard. You don't have to pay extra for the mag ride suspension. And as you can see, it says LT6, excuse me. And this engine cover was painted in etched red, which is the color of the engine down there. If you can see the valve covers and whatnot. So originally this come in gray or black, I believe. But he ordered the etched red, which looks amazing. Now, if you notice, there's a bunch of stuff in the trunk. That's because he want to keep the cover and the original splitter, which is right here. So as a souvenir. But the roof can be taken off, and it goes right here like any other Corvette. So you had that going on always. My God, what a beautiful engine. It's worth mentioning, this is the closest car to the race car. And that's why it has this thing that says C8R. That is the race car that they have in competition right now. They use them all the time. They have a yellow car and a gray car. And the Z06 is as close as it gets to a race car. It's the closest they ever been to a race car. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and start this puppy, can we? First of all, I'm gonna walk around it just to fill your eyes a little bit with this beauty, where you prepare for the sound of this beautiful automobile. I want you to turn on your soundbar, your bass. Make sure your neighbors are not sleeping or your kids. Because it's angry, it's loud, especially when you do a cold start. So I'm gonna start behind the car right here. This is what they call the diffuser in carbon flash, which looks amazing with the exhaust, the heat exchangers, and you also have the emblems in carbon flash. So let's do it. I have the key right here. This is the chrome emblem key. You also get one with the carbon flash key, which is kind of a black emblem. And then you flip it, and here's your controllers. You can lock it, unlock it, start it, open the trunk, open the front compartment, actually backwards. This is for the front compartment, that's for the trunk. And this is your panic button. Very amazing key, and it's a smart key. You ready? What about your headphones? You had them on? All right, cool. Soundbar on, bass, put the bass on. All right, cool. I'm ready. 1, 2, 3. Fire on the hole. So what I was saying is, it's very loud. You cannot barely talk. The loudest car we have in the lot right now, and it's gonna quiet in just a second. As you can see, there we go. Calm down. Let me calm down. There we go. It's very dramatic, and I love it because of that. The sound of the Z06 is so unique. It just plays with your head. You just want more and more and more of it. I don't think I'm ever gonna turn on the radio if I own this car, because the sound is just like music. Oh my God, I worked so hard with this exhaust to make it work for the driver, so everything kind of focused to the front of the car when you're driving it. And you can see that work in the exhaust system. if you look deep underneath. On the front of the car, of course, we have the 2 cameras for the Corp camera, so this is so you don't mess up your beautiful carbon fiber splitter, which is very expensive. And another one here. There's 2 more cameras on the windshield, one for your performance data recorder and another one for your forward collision alert, lane departure warning feature. Aside from that, the Corvette has blind spot alert. Up until 2020, Corvettes never had blind spot alert or turn signals in the mirrors, which is very nice. And you also have your blind spot alert right here. It's the first time since in 2020 where the Corvette incorporate backup sensors, and they reach out back about 65 feet. So if you're pulling out of the parking space, it will tell you where the car is coming, whether it is for the left or right. So let's get in this thing and show you a couple of things. The interior is amazing. TJ had a great taste, man. This car looks unbelievable. So with the natural dip interior, you get this special pattern here that's only unique for Z06, and it has this boomerang style, just the way it is on the side doors here. That's unique to Z06, but you only see it on 3LT motors. The other ones have the same pattern you see on the Stingrays. And he ordered level 1 carbon fiber, which will give you carbon fiber here on the switches and the steer package, which is dark instead of this chrome right here. It looks amazing with memory seats. You have power seats, power seats here, memory seat for the driver and passenger. And this is the beautiful, my friend. This is the competition seats. As you can see, these boulders here are more pronounced, way more deeper than the regular seat, but they offer a lot of support on the track. So if we're taking corners on this vehicle, you will just do it. With the level 1 carbon fiber, you also get a little bit of carbon fiber on the instrument cluster. You get the, with the 3LT, you get the carbon fiber steering wheel, and a little bit of carbon fiber here where your driving mode selector is, and a lot more on the other side. If you go level 2 carbon fiber, all of this will be carbon fiber. We tried that, but it just didn't look right. I think this is way more better. A little bit of two-tone interior, but mostly it's all natural. The dashboard is natural, and then usually the roof will have that stitching, but he ordered the transparent roof, so that's how it looks on the inside. It looks very, very good. Even the paddle shifters are carbon fiber. And if you wonder, down here you have your parking brake and your heads-up display controls. The steering wheel telescope, and it has a little switch here that goes up and down. That's standard equipment in all Corvettes, not just the 2 and the 3LT. Now let's get in this thing. Oh, I forgot to show you. He also ordered the contour package. It gives you the Jake logo floor liners. They look amazing. And even the Corvette logo is 3-dimensional. It looks very, very cool. But what looks even cooler is this. I'm gonna close this door and watch this. Oh yeah. Yeah, baby. Yes, it's a Z06 on the picture. So if you get a Z06, you get a Z06 picture. If you get a Stingray, you get the hint. If you get the E-Ray, we have an E-Ray as well. But this steering wheel, my God, it looks so much better. It's a Z06 right at the bottom. And just like any other Corvette now, they have flat bottom and flat top. And this is just to give you more visibility inside the car. Even though it's running, I must press the brake pedal first and start the button just to wake up the car. And then all your instrument cluster come to life. There we go. As you notice, this screen is the same size that it was on 2020. However, because it has these shortcuts over here, it makes us look slightly smaller. This is an 8-inch display. Over here we have, I believe it's 12.3 inch, and it's configurable. You can change everything you're looking at here. So first, we're gonna start with the left side of the steering wheel. We have the cruise control buttons and a button that says Z. And Z is another driving mode that you can customize to yourself. So if I hit the Z button, you notice this change, and then this here would look like that. And it offers to adjust all of this, including suspension, brake feeling, acceleration, steering wheel feel. You can make it harder or softer. It's whatever you like. But first, we're gonna start the AC because it's getting hot. It's very hot. So right now, if you press Z mode, it looks like it's in track mode. However, you can change that look to look like sport mode, look like touring. I'll show you what I mean. So if you go here to the driving mode selector, which is right here next to your handrest and your shifter, we're gonna turn this wheel to the left, and we're gonna start out in my mode. And my mode is a mode that you create for yourself, but we start actually in weather mode, sorry. And weather mode, if you notice, it's for rain season. So if I move to the right, you can see that it's my mode. And if I move to the left, I'm in weather mode, and now you can see the car driving on the rain. Now I'm gonna go ahead and adjust it again. You can see a little snowflake there. That tells you what driving mode you're in. If I move it to the right, I'm going to my mode, right? And my mode, you can adjust it to whatever you like as well, except that it's not as aggressive as Z mode. This is tour mode, and this is the mode you use just to chill and drive normal, right? Now if you want to be more aggressive or louder, this is my favorite, this is sport mode. And sport mode look like this, but you can also change that. You can change the information you're looking at here, or you can leave it in any one you like. So it could be set up to look like track mode all the time, it never change. I like it when it changed here. It's linked to the drive modes, and that's why it's changing. Now if I go to the last one, which is track, now you're gonna see the car racing on the track. Who won? Who won the race? I think the yellow car won the race. Excuse me. However, track mode should not be used on the street. They could not address this enough. This car has magnetic ride suspension from the factory, and if you take a pothole or a speed bump really hard, it could break the suspension. It could mess up your shocks, mess up your tires, your wheels. So they don't recommend to use track mode on the street for that reason. However, sport mode is as fun as track mode, so you can leave it in sport mode or just use your Z mode, and it won't affect your suspension as much as the track mode does if you drive it on the street. Another thing, track mode should be used on the street, excuse me, on the track only, because when you're on track mode, you're only on 8 cylinders on the Stingray. This car don't have that issue because it doesn't have active fuel management, but if you were driving a Stingray in track mode, it would never go to 4 cylinders, so it will burn more fuel. That's not the case here, however, because we don't care about that on the Z06. It's always 8 cylinders. Now another thing that is new for 24 is Google Maps built in. So Google Maps is now the source of navigation, and you get it for free for 1 month because the Wi-Fi service. However, you have to subscribe if you want to keep it for longer. So if you subscribe to the Wi-Fi service, which is about $20 a month, you get full access to Google Maps the whole time. Otherwise, you could use your phone completely free. That's because this car has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay wireless. You no longer need the cable for that. And you can just simply set your phone here on the wireless charging pad, which is right there in the middle of the car, and voila. And you can leave a sticker there. It says Z06. That's pretty cool. And get the speakers. Speaking of speakers, this car is the only car in the world with 2 seats and 14 speakers. It's called the Bose Performance Series, and it's quite amazing. It sounds really loud and crispy sound too. Absolutely amazing. With the natural deep interior, you get the natural stitching around the steering wheel. You can see it here, and many other places as you look around the car. Now that we're here, we can show you these 3 buttons here. This is traction control, lift, and camera. So if I push the lift button, it will actually start racing the car. For some reason, the Z06 goes up faster than the Stingray. So it's about 2 inches in 3 seconds. And it says what it says, remember. So if I hit the left button here, it will remember this location. You can record up to 1,000 locations with your lift, such as your driveway. So every time you approach your driveway, your nose of the car will go up automatically. Same goes if you record a speed bump in your street, or one of those, we call them badenes. I don't know how you call it in English, but it helps your car from being protected. Then if you want to lower it, it will lower itself, I believe, at 40 miles an hour, or you just simply push the button and it starts lowering itself right away. Same time frame, about 2 inches in 3 seconds. Now, moving to the shifter, we had buttons instead of an actual shifter. This is a dual clutch 8-speed transmission made by Tremec, and it's the best transmission we ever have. It's also the fastest shifting transmission ever put on a Corvette. There is no human capable to shift faster than this transmission. And it's really cool. They have these switches that kind of looks like an airplane. When you pull them, this is how you put it in drive. But if you want to put it in parking, you have to push the P. Then if you want to put it in reverse, you must pull the R. And then if you want to put it in neutral, you push the N. So in any case, the only 2 buttons you're going to pull are reverse and drive. The rest of them you push, including the M. And that's not for M mode or any M car like BMW. That's actually a manual button. So if you push that, you turn the transmission to shift manually only, which means that you'll be using these guys right here, upshift or downshift. However, and this is something I love to show people, a lot of people have these cars that don't know about it. It works on the Stingray and Z06 both. This transmission, when you put it in drive, you can actually pull both paddles at the same time, and it's like hitting the clutch. You see the D, how it's like turns blue, and then when I remove it, it's back normal. See? So if I pull both paddles, it's like hitting the clutch, and then you can do this. Yes, sir. So you can rev it, and you can see right now the red line, it starts at 5,500 RPMs. After 500 miles, this will drop to right down here, almost 9,000 RPM, which is ridiculous. It sounds like a Hayabusa almost. And look what's going on back there. I mean, it's quite amazing when you look to the back. And speaking to look at the back, if you look at this mirror, you can only see, well, the back window and the engine. But if you flip this little thing right here, then you have an actual mirror. And so the mirror could be a monitor, or it could be just a regular mirror. If you hit this button here, it will populate the check marks and these settings here where I can make it darker or brighter. I can also hit the check mark again and let me zoom in. So there we go. We can zoom in or zoom out. See my spoiler there. Now if I had the check mark again, I can tilt the camera up, and this is so I can look over the spoiler. With the low wing spoiler, it doesn't look as pronounced, of course, but I'm glad they make it this way, because the way it works with the body of the car is amazing. You can see everything behind you around the spoiler, even with the big giant high wing on the back. And since we're here, we're gonna look on the top. We got the OnStar buttons, which is standard in all Corvettes, and these guys can track your car if it gets stolen. It can slow the speed down during a police chase. So it's a great feature to have, and it's only offered for General Motors products. If you stole a Bugatti, you're never going to slow it down. But with OnStar, they can slow down your car safely during a police chase, and then it will shut off and it won't start again. Emergency lights here for the hazards, and we also have this button for lane departure warning, lane keeping assist. It used to have another button for motion sensors. I don't know if they changed it or if they eliminated the feature completely. I had to check on that, but if you look here, this says passenger sensor airbag is off because, well, there's nobody there. So hopefully it never happens, but if you're in a car accident, you don't have to pay for that airbag. It's just this one because there was nobody there to begin with. Also, this will shut off the airbag if there is a small person sitting here that weighs less than 100 pounds. It would disable the airbag because the airbag can affect that person or child, maybe a very small person. So it's good to have it. It's required by law, and Corvettes are no exception. Now I'm gonna hit the P button, put them back in park, and you can see here this is G-force tire status, right? Which is cool. The tires are cool. They even have a tire temperature. It tells you how many miles the car has, which it has 6, and then this is so your driving performance and your gas, your temperature, and you have a performance meter here. I'm gonna show you how that works. We're gonna use these arrows in the steering wheel. Actually, there's a wheel and arrows, 2 arrows. So if I move this to the down with the wheel, I can scroll down to trip 1. Here is trip 2. Here is fuel economy, which says 21 miles per gallon. That's pretty cool. I don't think it's gonna last very long with that. But then, if you move the arrows to the right, we can access another menu, which is the performance menu. And here we can calculate your 0 to 60 time. This car, of course, has launch control. However, you cannot do this before 500 mile braking period, so TJ has some work to do if you can use the 0 to 60 timer here. Then we have our lap timer, that's in case you're on track. And we also have our G-force meter, and we show you how many G-force you make when you brake and when you accelerate, not just lateral G-force like this one. So you can keep it there if you like, no problem, and then change whatever you like here. Right now it says launch control is unavailable because we're not at the 500 mile mark yet. This is audio. If you're playing on the radio, I will show you what's playing on the radio. Then we have this maintenance menu, which shows you your engine oil life, transmission fluid life, transmission filter life. Here's the air filter life. And then we have this is the engine hours, which is not many, and how many times it's been revved. I don't know what it says, 10,000 RPMs, but that's not true, TJ. I never rev at 10,000 RPM. There's not even 10,000 RPMs here, so I don't know what they're talking about, TJ. Just so you know. Let me move this here back to the trip meter. Now, if you want to change what's going on the left side of the steering wheel, so we're gonna access, Let's see if I can find it. The options. So we're gonna go here where it says display design, and this is what I was telling you about. If you choose display design, you can choose how you want your display to look. Right now I had a link to drive mode, so every time I change your driving modes, it changed how it looks. But if you have one in particular that you like, you can leave it there. See, tour, sport, or weather, or track. I'm gonna leave a link to drive modes, which is my favorite. But you already know, if I'm gonna change it, you can do it here. Info tire selection. So I'm gonna select that, and then let me change different things. So for example, let me change what's on the top here. Right now we have a G-force, but I can change it to oil pressure, or temperature, tire and temperature, which is on the bottom. Here's tire status, which is at the bottom, and then transmission fluid. So you choose what you want to see. I'm gonna leave it in G-force for now, for the lateral G-force. I don't think you want to see fuel economy and sport mode. But then you can do the same thing with every single mode. So you can go to tour mode right now. Let me do it for you. And see how the information changed here? You can change it back to whatever you like in tour mode. Same goes with weather, my mode, Z mode. So each driving mode, you can have different information set up there. You choose what you want to see, if you want to see anything at all. Because you can also opt to go for this. And this is simplify. If you go to simplify, well, it simplifies everything. There's nothing here but the RPMs and the odometer. See, this is for your lane departure warning. But I don't like simplify. It's too simple. So let's keep it complicated, because this is an amazing machine. It's very, very, very complicated machine. It's not that complicated. When you look at this car and you see all these buttons, first of all, it looks scary, but all this is air conditioning buttons. It's how you accelerate your AC. You can change your airflow. You can set it up to auto, sync your temperature, cool seats, heated seats, and then of course your temperature selected for the driver and another one for the passenger. This car does have dual climate control standard. What is not standard is the cool seats and the heated seats. You do have to pay extra for those, which obviously TJ did by upgrading to the 3LT trim instead of the 1LT. In this case it's LZ, because Z06 go with the Z, not the T's. It's a Z06 thing. Here we got 3 garage door openers, and this is covered in suede. Very nice on the visors, and they both have LED lights. Look very, very nice. Both sides of course have them, and if you wanted to remove the roof, you just have to unlatch this, and that. That's it. Three items, and this opens like that, and then you close it back up when you're done with it. Very simple stuff. I can do it with one hand, obviously. So let's go check out these other things that we have here. Number one, I'm gonna hold home, and I'm gonna lower the AC so you don't get this much background noise. But I'm gonna move here to the right, and I'm gonna access PDR. And this is pretty amazing. PDR is a performance data recorder, and it has maps from all the tracks around the world, including tracks in Germany, such as the Nürburgring track, which is super famous. I played that in Gran Turismo a lot. My son is learning how to play Gran Turismo. I'm laughing because he's mad about losing. But anyway, what this thing is doing, I don't know why it's taking so long. Let me hit PDR again. I'm going to show you here the heads-up display, which is flashing because of the camera frame, but in real life it's not flashing. It looks steady. And you control this from here. If I change the information, it's going to look like that. I'll change it again. I'm going to change it again. It's hard to see it right now, but it's there. Let me make it brighter for you so you can, there we go, much brighter now. And you can move it down, you can move it up, and it even lets you rotate it if you need to, which is super cool. Now, this PDR thing is not working for some reason, so I'm gonna get to the cameras. Speaking of cameras, we had a rear camera. When you put it in reverse, that's normal, right? It comes on, but it offers you 2 angles. So you can go with a regular angle or 180 degrees, give you a wider range. You can also flip it 90 degrees to the front, or see 3 cameras on the front. The cool thing about it is when you put the car in reverse, right, the camera comes on. You got your lines for the steering wheel, show you what direction you're moving your steering wheel. And if you don't want them, you can actually remove those lines and have a full view. It's high definition camera, just like the one up here. However, when you got the car in reverse, camera comes on. But when you put it in drive, it changes the cameras to the front, and I love that, because if you're putting out a parking space, obviously you can see it if you're going to hit something on the left, the right, and that's the nose of the car for your splitter, so you don't mess it all up. And these lines show you in what direction your tires are going. Now, if you don't want the 3-view effect, you can actually disable that. Let me see if I can find how. Okay, here it is. And now you got a full view of the nose of your car with the splitter. You can see the shadows. It's pretty amazing. Now I'm gonna hit X and I'm gonna put the car back in park. Now here we got under auto, Apple CarPlay. All these icons can be relocated or switched around, and you can also modify your shortcuts, which you couldn't not do in the past. See how I get the music logo out or get the music logo back in. That's to access your music. This is for navigation, phone, Google Assistant, and this one is for your App Store. Actually, you have to access Google Play first, so you sign in with your Google account, and voila, you can download Waze, Weather Channel. Well, you can see there's Alexa, there's podcasts, etc. You can download any music app such as Spotify, Pandora, YouTube Music. It all plays here, and of course it does it completely wireless. And try again to get to the PDR or Performance Data Recorder. Now it's working. All right, so this is super cool. So you can choose the video overlay. Right now it says none. I'm gonna set it up to sport. I'm gonna hit preview so you can see how it looks. And this is the camera up here. Let me show my finger here. So you can see a little bit of the window sticker too. Let me take that off. There we go. So it's not reflecting. And it operates like a dash cam. It shows you how many G-force you're making, your RPMs, where they at, how fast you're going, and it shows you here time and date and how many miles you drove. Now if I go back, I can change it to track mode or track looks, and this is amazing. In track mode show you G-force for lateral, front and back, and it also shows you how many degrees your steering wheel is moving. So you can see all this data later and see where you have to correct yourself in the track. It will also have a map of the track you're on. Obviously, we're not on a track right now, so it won't show me any. But once you arrive there, you use by the GPS and it shows you. You also have a timing feature which shows you the time lapse over here when you go around the track. Obviously, that's not going to work right now because we don't have now. But if you go timer, you have to configure that. Another thing you can choose is none, and none well means that you don't have anything. It's just the screen. I like having something. It kind of looks cool. No? It makes you look like you're driving in a video game. Super cool. Now to operate the Performance Data Recorder, you must open the glove box. We're gonna push this little guy here to open it, and then under here, you see a slot for an SD card. That takes up to 256 gigs. It used to be 32 only before the 7th generation. So 256 is pretty amazing. And it lets you record audio as well. So once you slot your SD card there, which they send in Walgreens, CVS, you name it. You might have one at home as well. And it will start recording. And look how it looks, this floor mat here with the floor liner, the Jake logo on the Corvette. It looks amazing. I like it because it matched everything else in the car the way it is. This theme on the car is basically a race car, a Corvette on steroids, I should say. Now, going back to the screen, we have all items such as climate. So if you don't want to bother with all these buttons here in the middle, you can just use the screen, and the screen lets you change the airflow, air speed. You can control the temperature. And speaking of control the temperature, you can control the temperature by voice using your Google Assistant. So if I say the magic words such as, "Okay Google, passenger temperature 65 degrees."
Okay,
there we go.
Changing the
Saw
temperature
it.
for the front
65,
passenger to
63.
65 degrees.
And it says the same thing here. However, I don't see myself doing that since the buttons are right here, literally next to your hand. So I don't know if you're going to use it, but you can if you want. Maybe your hands are busy or something. You never know. Or you can just prefer to talk. You're just a talker. Now, going to the audio screen, it allows us to use FM, XM, or Bluetooth. Bluetooth will play any of these things. And if you want to switch your assistant to Alexa, for example, Google is going to get jealous. Of course they will, but they will still deal with it. They will not get too mad at you. They will still be mad, but but Alexa and Google get along very well. So is Siri. They start becoming friends since they make them AI. So this is the passenger seat. As I mentioned before, the passenger seat has memory. So if you have two passengers that are always changing the seat, you can just set them up over here. No more arguing about that. I always joke around if you had two girlfriends, but that's not nice. That's not nice to say. Also, here on your driver's door, we have this huge switch. It's the largest switch in the entire driver's door. And what it does is fold your mirrors. That's all it does. You can open it and close it. Now, I always set it up where when you lock the car, it locks the mirror, and that's something we can do here in our settings menu. So if I go here to the settings menu, I can go to vehicle, and it let me switch a couple of things. There's motion sensor. Remember I was telling you about the motion sensor button? It's not here anymore. I found that it's down here. Another thing, you have teen driver on this car, which is pretty cool, and you also have something called, let me go back, ballet mode. Buckle to drive is off. Yes, thank God. I don't like. This is dry customization. So here you can choose how your Z mode want it to be. So you can choose, for example, the engine sound. Right now it's in track mode. So let's set it up to Z mode. I sound like this, right? But I want to change it. So I'm gonna go to dry customization, and I'm gonna change it to stealth. And this confirm engine sound. Look. It's quiet. Pretty amazing, right? Well, let's get it back to sport because we like to be loud. I know TJ will. And you can do the same with the brakes. You can do the same with PTM, which is Performance Traction Management. This is something you use for track use only. And among many things, it can change how your suspension behaves. It's wet, dry, etc. You choose that. You can change how the steering wheel feel, how the suspension feel, how the engine shift. Right now it's set up to track. I'm gonna set it up to sport so it's not too aggressive for TJ. And then we can adjust the engine sound to sport. We have the brakes set up to sport. So everything is set up to sport in Z mode. So Z mode will simulate a sport mode, but it has the view of a track mode set up. And you can also change all those 4 icons on the corner here, the way I showed you before. Selection overlay. That's in case you want to have the overlay when you do the selection here. You can disable that. I like having it because it shows you like the movie playing and stuff. But yeah, here you can go to valet mode. Valet mode is pretty amazing. If you can go put a pin here, I'm gonna put a secret pin that nobody ever seen. Don't tell anybody. And I'm gonna lock this thing. You heard that? I said lock because we just locked the entire radio. It doesn't work anymore. It reduced the speed to 85 miles an hour top speed. So still fast, but you see 85 miles an hour. But the best part is this. This is locked. Can't open the center console. So whatever is here is locked until you open that with your code. But the other thing that is locked is this glove box. Look, can't open it no more. So if I want to access all of that, I need to put my secret code. Don't tell anybody. TJ is the only one who knows this. And there we go. You can put any code whatsoever, and now you can open your center console, which is pretty deep. It has 2 USB ports, USB-C, USB-A, and another thing, now you can open your glove box. Now if you wonder, there's a 12-volt outlet hidden here in this car, and I'm gonna show you what it is. If you wonder, it does have one. And the reason people ask, the 12-volt outlet is something they use for the radar detectors, and sure enough, it goes under here by the passenger side, so you don't have this clutter with cables in the front. I'm gonna shut this baby up. Let's take a look at the price, shall we? That's what everybody wants to see. It's from the beginning, but I always leave it to the end. Another thing I forgot to show you is this frunk operation. They call it the frunk because it's the trunk in the front. You can call it whatever. And there's a button to open it right here on the driver's side headlight. You push that, and voila. Notice that it opens just in one motion. It used to be like 2 steps to open and 2 steps to close. Not the case anymore. And here are the original floor mats, which are natural, of course. We have the cargo net and a couple other things here, such as the air ducts for the rear brakes. We don't put those because it's bad to use them on the street. They can suck debris from other, like leaves or garbage onto your brakes. However, there is a 12-volt outlet here if you wanted to recharge your car. There's also an exit button if you want to escape your car. That glows in the dark, and it helps you escape from the mafia. See, you just run for your life, hands up so they don't shoot you. And then here is where your 12-volt battery is, brake fluid, and windshield washer. That's it. No more anything on the front. Now, when you close this hood or front, you don't have to slam it anymore like 2020, 21, 22. Just show it and present it, and it will close itself. Before, we had 2 motions to do to be able to close that. Not the case anymore. Here's another little bonus here. This is the picture of Zora Antov Dunkov, which is to be considered the father of the Corvette. He's the one who created the first 4 prototype mid-engine cars, and he's so deep involved in Corvette developing that his ashes are in the museum, and his wife's ashes are at the museum of the Corvette. If you go to Kentucky, Bowling Green, you can see his picture everywhere. Now let's take a look at the passenger seat. It looks pretty amazing. The competition seats, they're so elegant, and let me tell you that design really reminds the Z06 with these boomerang seats right here, like the door and stuff. And there's another one at the bottom, so you can see that team here with another boomerang. Then the doors had the boomerangs too. So, and the floor mat, well, that's a good looking floor liner, very useful if you ask me. That carpet would get dirty very quick. So let's talk about the sticker. Here it is. Yay, we just got it. It came without a sticker. They sent us the car first. So what we have here is a 2025 Corvette Z06 Coupe 3RC with torch red and natural deep seats, 5.5 liter V8 engine and XP dual clutch transmission. Warranty 3 years 36,000, 5 years 60,000, powertrain including roadside assistance and courtesy transportation. It includes your first visit for service, and that includes the oil change and top oil fluid, including the filter. Many people do the second, pay for the first one and do it on the second one, so they can get the filter start for free for the transmission, which is recommended at 7,500 miles. Now here's the standard vehicle price, and it's $125,650 because it's a 3RZ. But then we're gonna add the options, right? Here's the carbon fiber stuff. Like I say, it's expensive, $10,500 worth of carbon fiber outside. And then you get hit with this. This is a gas guzzler tax, $3,000. The tower base it's been back ordered. It's not available yet, so we're waiting on that. That's $2,800. It does have the front lift. That's installed already from the factory, $2,595. And then you got the engine appearance package, the carbon fiber interior trim, which is only $1,500 for level 1. If you go level 2, it's $5,000. Then we have the transparent roof for $995. The color override combination is $695 with bright red calipers and $695. And then we go up here and we see the calipers in red or bright red. You have the J stripe for the back because you already have the one on the front. Competition sport bucket seats, only $500 because it's a 3RC. The upgrade costs only $300 instead of $1,500. The engine intake in red, the torch red seat belts, and the contour lining protection, which is all of this. They had it on the bottom of the cargo space too, so it's on the trunk and the front. The exhaust tips in black is only $395, and then we have the battery protection package for $100. That brings the total of $28,120 just in options, which brings the vehicle price to $155,465 after destination charge. If you wonder what is that destination charge, that's not the dealer, that's the factory, and they charge that wherever it goes across the street, or if it goes to Alaska. They have to pay this driver, they have to put diesel on the trucks, and they have to drive a lot of hours to deliver this vehicle. They have their own fleet of trucks that deliver this vehicle, especially for Corvettes, so everything is always top notch, looking good, nothing is broken. So I think I did it. I explained the 2025 Corvette Z06 in English, or sort of, and I hope TJ appreciate this because it was very hard. But no bloopers. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you wanna get in this journey with us, it's very simple. You can contact me in the description below. I have my email, the phone number for here. I have the address for the dealership and everything else, and I can ship the cars anywhere in the country. You have to pay for that though. We cannot be responsible for your shipping. So TJ has got his own company coming and get it. And there's many to choose from. It's just when it comes to liability for transportation, that's something the customer had to do it instead of us. But yes, we can do anything you want. We can order your car the way you want it, or find one that has the one you're looking for, and you simply switch cars. And we can do that with any vehicle on the lot as well. So I got people who order a Suburban, Tahoes. I have people who ordered a Traverse recently. What a beautiful automobile, my friend. I'm glad to share with you our first 25 Z06 right out of the box. TJ, congratulations, man. Let me, like Rick Conti does, let me give her the little rubbing the spoiler. So don't forget to hit like and subscribe. We already have over 60,000 subscribers in our channel, so you know, it's free. So go ahead and share your video. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one, my friend. Have a nice day and an awesome weekend, guys. Bye-bye.